In Tuesday's video I showed you my mug press. Tonight what I'm going to do is explain the process on how you go from a blank mug to your own design. Right, so there's a couple of things that you need for it. The equipment are your printer and obviously the mug press. Some way of making templates, so you would need some kind of software, like if you're using free software you can use stuff like Canva. That's got a template on there. I believe Adobe Illustrator, you can also use that as well. I've got software that I use for editing photos, so although I do use Canva a little bit, I don't use it so much for doing templates. So we have a look at designing templates on the computer in a little while, in a later video, but for now I'm going to show you around the printer that I use. This is my Epson XP352 printer, and this particular printer will take refillable cartridges, which is what you need. If I just open it up I will show you. Okay, so these are refillable ink cartridges. When you first get them, there's a little tag on here that you need to remove. And that allows the airflow within the cartridge when you're filling it up from this point here. You just simply pull this bung out, and then you use the sublimation ink that you purchase just to fill the cartridge up. They say to fill it up to about 90-95% fill. Right, now the one thing to remember with these is that because they're not Epson cartridges, the software will not recognise them. There's a couple of points to remember when you're filling the ink cartridges up, and that is, the first one, make sure, as I said earlier, you pull that tag off, otherwise air won't be able to escape as you're filling the cartridge up with ink. Number two, obviously the printer will not recognise the cartridges because they're not Epson cartridges. Thirdly, if you get a warning up after a little while saying that your cartridge needs replacing, don't be tempted to fill it up. Wait until it actually says that the cartridge is empty. Again, because they're OEM cartridges, the software that the printer uses can make them a little bit on the tetchy side, so they can be a little bit temperamental. If you fill them up before they actually need it, then you could cause yourself issues with getting them to work in the printer again. Refilling the cartridges is actually quite easy. The one thing you've got to remember is don't push the bottle. You don't want the ink to go in too quick. If you get a spill, then it can be a bit of a nightmare to clean up. And also, if you get ink over the chip that's on the cartridge, you could have some major issues there. It's always a good idea to wear gloves when you're refilling your ink cartridges. As I say, it can get messy. If you saw the last video I did, you probably see where I was showing filling the cartridges that there was a little bubble on top. The instinct is to either blow it or to pop the bubble, but if you do that, the ink will go everywhere. You end up getting it on your gloves, and then it gets onto the chip or paper, and it just makes a mess. So if you get a bubble like that, just gently squeeze a bottle, and hopefully it should either pop, or if air goes back into the bottle, it should reduce in size. So it's not just the ink that needs to be sublimation, you also need sublimation paper as well. And this is one area where it's a good idea not to go cheap. This is the paper that I use. There's two reasons why I like it. Number one is because it's nice and thick. Number two, the the colour of the inks that you're printing on it soaks into the paper quite nicely. And number 3, the side that you don't print on has got marks on it. Very often if you buy the cheap one, it will just look like normal A4 paper, and then you're stuck thinking, well, which side do I print on? So this is a printout that I did for a couple of mugs that I'll be printing later on. If you have a look at the picture, the colours don't look all that good, but basically the ink has soaked into this paper. It's only when you transfer it onto a mug that the actual colours really stand out. If I turn the paper over, you can see that this particular one has got markers on it. So although it will transfer if you print on this page, it doesn't transfer quite as well, and it's not the correct side. So I've already gone through the operation on this, so if you want to see this, you will find a video for it up there. As I said on Tuesday, it's not particularly rocket science doing this. A lot of it is making sure that you've got good quality consumables, good quality mugs, and you don't mind practicing. If you're new to it, you get a box of 36 mugs. I would imagine that by the time you get through 10 or 15 mugs, you've got a generally good idea of how to do it. So if you're already doing this type of work, let me know how you're getting on with it. Let me know your experience of where you started doing it, how you learned it, and give the video a like. Think about subscribing, there's going to be plenty more content. And until next one, I will catch you very soon. Take care. Bye now.